All right, what's going on, everybody? It's Ethan here, and today I'm coming to you from Staunton State Park here right outside of Conifer, Colorado. This is Colorado's newest state park. I think it only opened a few years ago. It's pretty new. And today I am trying something a little different. We'll see how it goes. I really have no idea how this is going to work out, but I'm going to give it a try. I'm going to be hiking in on the Staunton Ranch Trail here for a little while until eventually I get to the turn off for the Old Mill Trail, and then I'm going to try to hike that up to the Old Mill site, and from there see if I can climb up to the summit of Black Mountain, which is outside of the state park boundaries, and it is the tallest mountain in Conifer. Supposedly you can get some good views on some rock outcroppings up there. The summit itself is covered in trees, so you can't really see anything from the very top, but there are some spots where you can get some good views. So I'm going to go up there, see if I can get some solitude and have a good time. It is a very windy day today, but I'll go ahead and get back with you guys in a minute here once I figure out where I'm going. Beautiful views on the Staunton Ranch Trail, which I am now officially back on, which is great. At some point here, I'll be hitting the junction with the Old Mill Trail, and from there, I believe it's another 0.9 miles, like just under a mile, to the end of that hike, at which point it will be off-trail bushwhacking from there on out. And there's a look at my hopeful destination. That's Black Mountain up there. Interesting thing about Black Mountain, it is a little over 10,700 feet at the summit, which makes it without a doubt the highest point in the Conifer area. I think Black Mountain might technically be in like Pine or Pine Junction. I think it's technically in Park County, but out of all the foothills and, you know, medium-sized peaks out here in the Conifer area, Black Mountain is definitely the tallest. All right, so I just hit the junction with the Staunton Ranch Trail, which will continue that way, and the Old Mill Trail, and you can see the sign says 0.9 miles, and at the end of this trail there is a junction with the Borderline Trail and a couple of others, I think. Now from studying the map, it looks like the best thing to do would be to branch off of this trail at about 0.7 miles in and start climbing up through the trees. But this is the point in the hike where you're actually going to start gaining a little bit of elevation. Got over 2,000 feet to go up on this hike. And that first mile and a half, 2 miles, whatever that was, there's pretty much no elevation gain. It's just ups and downs the whole way. And we'll see how it goes. All right, well, I branched off of the trail about a quarter mile back that way. And now the real fun is beginning. The bushwhack. Now, as far as bushwhacks go, thus far, this hasn't been bad at all. But it definitely looks like I could be headed for some much more nasty terrain up ahead. We'll see what happens here. Hopefully it just stays like this most of the way, because this I can do. And look at that. I just intersected with a trail. This, I believe, would have to be the borderline trail. So, yeah. I guess I kind of took a little shortcut to get to this point. All right, well, this is more like what I was expecting when I was looking at this, when I was mapping this out. A steep, very steep bushwhack through just a bunch of rocks and trees. This is definitely more like what I was expecting. It's very windy today. Luckily, most of this hike is going to be in the forest, so I shouldn't have too many problems with the wind. But whenever I get to those viewpoints up there, if I make it, we'll see. I'd imagine it's going to be very windy up in those areas. And by the way, if you're a real stickler for the rules, I will say that, you know, this might not be the hike for you, because technically speaking, in most Colorado state parks, you're not allowed to hike off trail. And although Black Mountain is in national forest land, the first like third of a mile after leaving the trail, you are technically hiking off trail in Staunton State Park. So, like I said, if you're a real stickler for the rules, might not want to do this hike. However, if you're like me and are okay with bending the rules a little bit, then go for it. Well, I'm not going to tell you to go for it yet. I'll wait until I know this is going to be a successful trip before I tell you to go for it. All right, well, this is going to be viewpoint number 1 on this hike, and man, it is incredible. This is really cool. You can see over to the Lost Creek Wilderness over there, Pikes Peak out there. All of those big peaks have snow on them from last night, and there's about to be a lot more. But I had to detour off of the route a little bit. I was coming up through there, and it's hard to tell in the video, but I mean, that is just straight up. This is definitely the hardest bushwhack I've ever done, and it doesn't look like it's gonna get any easier. If anything else, it's gonna get harder. But I'm kind of hiking between this big cliff band here on this side and then this cliff band on this side, and that's kind of the name of the game on this hike, is to just keep going up the sides of these cliff bands through the trees. Now, I could hike up that way and definitely get a really good view up there, or I could keep hiking up this way and get on top of this cliff up here. I believe there should be a way to do it that doesn't involve, you know, rock climbing. There might be some class 3, but I don't think it's going to involve rock climbing, you know, like class 5 or anything like that. And hopefully I can make it happen, because up there, that's actually probably only about 200 feet shorter than the summit of Black Mountain. And as I said earlier, at the actual summit, you don't really get any views. So, you know, hiking up to one of these cliff bands, I am getting pretty high up. I'm at about 9,800 feet right now, which is definitely still below the summit, but well below the summit. But getting on top of either one of these cliffs would definitely put me above 10,000 feet for sure. And I think that one over there definitely looks like the taller of the two. And I think the top of that should be at least 10.3, if not even a little higher. And honestly, I'll probably call that good. I could potentially get up a little higher, and I mean, I'll see about it the higher up I go. But I'm telling you, I'm already getting pretty sick of this bushwhack. It is a huge pain in the ass. I mean, at this point, I'm just like boulder hopping through, you know, just through all these trees. It's pretty brutal. So I'm getting blasted on and off by hurricane force winds. On a more positive note, the bushwhack hasn't been as bad the last 100 or so yards, but I've decided that I'm gonna head up this way and try to get up on top of the cliffs here. Looking at the map, it looks like those cliffs would be a tiny bit higher than these ones. The only problem is I don't know how easy either one of these are to climb. I mean, I could end up just being blocked by, class 5 walls all around. And if that's the case, then, what are you gonna do about it? But I don't know. I'm getting pretty sick of this bushwhack, I gotta tell you. But at the same time, I can't be too mad, because being in this thick forest is the only thing keeping me from experiencing hurricane force winds right now. But let's see what happens. Okay, well, I seem to have hit a little bit of an impasse here. So getting on top of that seems highly unlikely. I could go down and give it a try, but it definitely seems highly unlikely that I'd be able to get up on top of that. And then this side here, I'll show you, you can actually see that cliff band I was showing you on the other side. Once again, seems like it would be almost impossible to get up there. All class 5 climbs. And then over here, this is what I'm looking at climbing, and you can see that this is all, on this side it's all class 5 for sure. On the other side it looks like there's some class 4, but I'm just not ready to pull the trigger on that yet, because it seems like it would be very, very sketchy to down climb it. And I mean, so far that side, this side over here out of view, so far that's the best I've seen. And so if that's as good as it gets, I might have to call it just down here. But I am gonna give it a try. I'm gonna hike up through these boulders and see if maybe on the other side there's an easier way to get up. But I'm completely by myself right now, and I have no idea if this is gonna pan out, and I definitely don't want to take any unnecessary risk today. So we'll see what happens. Oh yes, finally. So I basically just skirted the whole side of this cliff band right here, and you can see down there, that was the other point I was thinking of climbing. I mean, it's just all class 5, and then everything on all sides of this is all class 5, but finally there was a break in the cliffs right there where I could just do an easy little class 3 climb up here. Now, I don't know if I can get any higher than this. I'm gonna give it a try because I'd really like to get all the way up there, but I'm pretty satisfied already. If this is the highest I get, I will be satisfied with this. Look at these amazing views up here. You can see over there to the Lost Creek Wilderness. There's the Twin Cone Peaks. There's Bison Peak over there, and McCurdy Mountain right behind it, and of course Pikes Peak. And then all that down there is all of Staunton State Park. And so the actual summit of Black Mountain is right over there. I'm about 600 feet shorter than the summit right now. I'm about 10-1 right now, but if I can get up there, that'll put me another 150, 200 feet higher. So we'll see if I can make that happen. But like I said, either way, I am more than happy with where I ended up getting today. This is a beautiful view. And then I can show you over here. There's a good look at the backside of the Lion's Head. Man. And it's a beautiful day. I wish it wasn't so damn windy, but clear skies, it's a very beautiful day. It is good to be up here. That was one hell of a bushwhack to get up here. All right, well, here is the other side. Much windier over here. The wind's blowing west-east right now, so looking west. You can see Mount Evans and Mount Bierstadt over there. All the those are the Chicago peaks. All part of the Mount Evans Wilderness out there. And then you can see back there all of the Lost Creek Wilderness, Kenosha Mountains over there. Man, what an incredible view. There's the Lion's Head right there. Now, once again, I wish it wasn't so damn windy, and I do wish I could get up a little higher than this, but this is, you know, honestly the best I could have hoped for. As of right now, I'm at about 10,230 feet, and that looks like that's about the highest I'm getting today. But anyway, I am gonna go try to find a place that's not as windy so I can take a little bit of a break, because it is in the low 40s right now, and with that wind it is cold. But man, what an absolutely incredible view up here. And unlike the rest of Staunton State Park, I can pretty much guarantee you that you'll never see anybody else up here, which is pretty awesome. Okay, well, I am hiking back down now. It is absolutely freezing up here with this wind. It is just brutal. I did find a place to get some shelter from the wind, but anytime I'm out and trying to take pictures or look at the views or anything, it is just brutal. So I definitely need to get back down into the forest. But there's just a very specific area where I have to exit off of this cliff band to be able to get back down without having to do some like class 4 and 5 down climbing. So try to get back down safe the initial 2 miles of this descent until I get back to the old mill trail are, I imagine, going to be quite slow going, but after that it should be smooth sailing for the remaining about 2.5 or so miles, 2.5, 3 miles back to the trailhead from there. So just want to give you a good idea here of what I'm descending. No trail, extremely steep. I mean, the video can hardly give a perspective of how steep this actually is. And I mean, you can see it's just a big boulder field with lots of down trees and roots and all kinds of shit. This is definitely the toughest bushwhack I have ever done. I haven't done too many. I've done a few, but out of the ones that I have done, I can definitely say this is at the top of the list. But at least I got some nice views to look at while I'm going down. And by the way, tell me what you guys think of the new camera. I'm shooting in 4K today, so hopefully it looks a little better than some of my previous videos. Just wanted to take one last little detour to get one more view. And I'd say it paid off. Obviously not as good as the views from up where I was, but a good view nonetheless. Just hiked out onto this boulder field, and it's below that cliff band that's on the other side. You can kind of see that is the spot where I gave you guys that first initial view, and then behind that there was the little rock formation that's kind of shaped like a castle, and then behind that was the cliff band that I climbed up on top of. And then this is kind of the beginning of the cliff band that was on the right side of where I was hiking up, that I decided not to go to because it definitely looked like it'd be much tougher to climb up. But man, what a beautiful spot. It's a pain in the ass to get back in here, but it's a lot of fun. A lot of fun. And I mean, there's no other hikers, no rock climbers, nothing back here. It's just me. And I'm gonna be heading down in that direction. The trail, I believe, is somewhere over there. And right about in that area down there is where it's gonna turn back into Staunton State Park from Arapahoe National Forest. All right, well, I made it back to the junction with the Staunton Ranch Trail. So I'll be taking a left here. And I believe it's just under 2 miles to the trailhead from here. And man, being back on trail, that feels so good. You have no idea. Got a nice little run in coming down the old mill trail. Oh man, it's nice to be on an established trail again. Okay, well, I made it back to the trailhead. There is one of the parking lots right over there. That was a really beautiful hike. Definitely not one I would recommend for the novice adventurer. I would definitely recommend that you have some experience with route finding and off-trail hiking if you're going to try to hike up Black Mountain. And I did not make it all the way to the top. Did make it to 10,300 feet. Got up to some really nice viewpoints, which was great. But you know, that mountain is definitely kind of pick your own adventure. If you want to, you know, do some crazy class 4 or 5 climbing, you can do that. If you want to keep it at, you know, difficult class 2, easy class 3, you could do that. And if you want to hike all the way up to the summit, or to, you know, some of the higher rock outcroppings, you definitely can. There's quite a few you can pick from on the slopes of that mountain, on the south slopes at least. So like I said, it's kind of choose your own adventure, but that adventure is going to be a rough one, I promise you that. Lots of, like I said, lots of off-trail hiking, lots of climbing up steep boulder fields through thick brush, lots of deadfall up there. Definitely not an easy bushwhacking experience, but if you've done a few easier bushwhacks already and you think you're ready for something tougher and you want something that's going to be completely secluded, close to Denver, Black Mountain's a great choice. So anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the video here. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And I'll see you guys soon for another awesome hiking adventure, which there will be many.